said that,
Wow.
there's two ways to make money in business: you sell more or you save more. And
Yeah,
and
yeah,
with Schooley Mitchell, it's a no-brainer because we do it for you, and it's not taking anything off your profit. Like you're paying for it. We're paying for itself in our savings.
mm,
And it's just like, we don't provide a lot. Some people think one of the other pushbacks we get is like, oh, we've been with this vendor a long time, or we got a contract with this vendor.
yeah,
And
yeah,
and
yeah.
so I hear that a lot, but that's totally fine because, well, one, we can negotiate within contracts. A
Hmm.
lot of the times we can. Other times people are willing to even break their contracts, and then other times we sometimes breaking their contract to go with another competitor is they'll save so much that it's even worth to do that.
Right.
Or we've even had times where competitors have paid the penalty to break a contract.
Oh wow.
And
Yeah.
that was with a FedEx UPS, actually. UPS paid the
Oh yeah.
FedEx's penalty for a company to go over to UPS. Um,
Wow.
so yeah, there's all kinds of situations. So, and the other thing was 70-80% of the time we stay with the current provider. Because a
Right.
lot of people are like, oh, I couldn't move. I can't talk to you. I'm locked into this provider. It's like, no, 80% of the time. Like, so people think cost reduction, okay, they're going to find a better price somewhere else and they're going to move me. It's like,
Right.
no, 80% of the time we actually keep you with where you are. That's what we try the best because
Hmm.
it's just so much easier.
Yeah, I guess like one of the worries that in a way that I would have is around like if I'm like lowering the fee with the existing provider, I might be losing some features that I think I might not need, but I actually do need. You know what I mean? Like it's like so then
Yeah,
you reduce it, and then it's like, oh shit, I actually now have to go back and like add in this like let's say webinar feature in Zoom, and I didn't
right.
think I needed. Like so now you're not really getting the cost savings you wanted to. Yeah, but I guess at the end of the day, if you get it back, then it's like at least you saved it for 2 months, and yeah. But
A little
I
bit.
guess
Yeah.
like you don't want to
Typically
reduce too much and like degrade quality is what I'm thinking.
yeah,
Like
like we try to do as best a profile on the business we can. We talk to the business owners, we talk to other people within the business and the category specialists in that business. Like a
hmm,
lot of times the CFO is not going to know the details of how many times a dumpster needs to be dumped, but maybe the
right,
general manager of waste knows that. Or so we'll talk
right,
to the department heads that actually deal with this day to day, and we'll get a
hmm,
really good picture on what it is and what features they need and what features they're actually using in that
hmm,
service. And so ideally we're going in with our negotiations. We know clearly what they need and what they don't need.
hmm. Interesting. Yeah, I guess. Do you have any other kind of like examples of businesses that kind of just yeah maybe did they just cut some costs and actually helped them grow their business? Because I think to me there's kind of like that, it's one or the other. Like you can't, it's hard to be in like a revenue growth phase while you're also in a cutting phase. Maybe it's like the
Yeah.
whole bodybuilding mentality where it's like you're either gaining muscle or you're cutting fat. Like it's basically next to impossible to do both.
Yeah,
um
I think I quite look at it like that because our
okay.
cost savings is such a small amount of time required to do
Mm,
this. So if you're, say, 100% focused on sales and then we come in, it's like that'll take 5% of your time to work
right.
with me and get all your stuff and let's find some saving. It's not like, okay, you got to
Mm,
focus on sales. Well, you got to stop that for a month to work with me. Put that on
yeah,
hold for a
right.
month. You're going to work with me 100% with me for a month it's not like that at all. Like we'll totally take a half an hour of someone's time. It
Right.
depends on how organized they are. Obviously, being a CPA, you know that all businesses are different level of organization in terms of their statements and
Yeah,
how
yeah,
they
yeah, of
collect them and
course.
store them.
Yeah, yeah,
And so some businesses, I sign them up, they sign their service agreement, and 2 days later, they're like, "Here's all my invoices, here's all my contracts, here's all your
yeah, yeah.
information." And 2 days later, and then we're off to the races, and we start our analysis right there. Other businesses I've worked with for 2 months trying to collect their information
Yeah.
because one, they're busy doing other things and it's not a priority, and two, they're just disorganized. Or I'm working with
Yeah.
a hardware store right now that's got, it's all paper invoices. I think they're printing them on dot matrix printers or something still, and so they've had to scan everything to send it to me, and it's taking
Yeah.
weeks. And
Oh
others,
man.
they're just like, oh, here's our folder, boom. So
Yeah.
so
Like
it
what?
doesn't take a lot of time. It's not either or.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean earlier when you were talking, you were saying how you just send us the last 3 months worth of like invoices, and I was like, I think a lot of companies don't have those readily available. Like and I think back to like our client. I mean, not to get into our own affairs, but like for
Yeah,
our clients, like we use all electronic stuff, so everything's
yeah,
digital. We use Dext, all that kind of stuff for all of our clients, and so that way we can do that actually. You
right,
know what I mean? Like we
yeah,
have all of that, but then if a lot of business owners like aren't up to date with their bookkeeping, and then you're asking them for records, and it's like, well, I have like last year's stuff, and even then all that we've renewed a contract since, and then it's like, oh, okay, but like you can't do
right.
your job if you don't have actual up-to-date records either, right? That
Yeah.
must be like, and especially the people that are at the point where they might want to choose to reduce costs, they're at a point where they're just like their last means, right? Like, it's like, no, we need
Right.
to improve profitability. Like, there's an issue, like we need to, so they're strained. They don't have time to like go back months to kind of
Right.
get their records together. Like, that's a huge annoyance.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
and
interesting.
ideally, we try to get logins from people. So that in our
Right.
ideal
Yeah.
situation, we get their login. We
Hmm.
get like kind of a read-only pass.
Yeah.
And like telecom's pretty easy. Like all of it's online anyway. All your telecom bills are online. We just need to see the PDFs online, and away
Hmm.
we go. You don't have to do anything.